Hey guys, what's up? It's Co-op. One quick video before Genesis this weekend, and it's actually about the storylines going into it. There are a couple things going on headed into this event that makes it huge, not just because it's the first major, and I wanted to talk about them a little bit if you didn't really know the backstory on who people think is going to do well, who are people worried about not doing well, and I don't know what the big picture is here. So I'm just going to go over three of the big ones and then about who has a good chance of winning the tournament. So first off is Tweak versus Zachary. These are who people believe are the best players in the world. Zachary winning all of his events in Japan, that being in 2 Umiburas and 1 Sumibato. And then Tweak outside of his 4th place finish at the New York XL pop-up event. He's gotten first Let's Make Moves, Glitch 6. He won Sky's Invitational. This is the matchup that's going to be really important to see going forward who's going to be number one. Tweak's got the 1st seed and Zachary's got the 4th seed, so if they win all their matches through winners, they'll meet in the semifinals, and presumably, I would think in grands as well, as we're seeing a dominance from both of them. But that being said, obviously this is an event that a lot of upsets could happen, but I think regardless of that, these are 2 characters that are the most immune to them because they are the best with their characters, and unless you're getting practice with them, you're not going to be ready for the matchup. The game hasn't even been out 2 months, so I expect to see these guys throw down and most likely be your 1st and 2nd place finishers. Next up for storylines is, are the melee gods, or will the melee gods drown? Now, most of these are seated between 48 and 128. I expect, honestly, this one's really hard because all of them outside of Mewtwo King and a little bit HBox don't have any of the matchup knowledge from Smash 4, understanding some characters that have gimmicks or they play in a specific style that's unique to that character. No one else outside of them is going to see that until they actually fight that character. So if they run into a random character in their bracket, I think they're going to be very prone to going into losers early and maybe even falling out of the event early. I don't really expect to see any of them in top 32. I want to say I don't expect any of them in top 48 either, but due to their sheer skill in Smash in general, I wouldn't be surprised if we see 2 to 3 of them make it into top 48, but I wouldn't say more than that. I don't think Mango will go very far because I think he's going to suffer the most from matchups he hasn't played against, and also Hungrybox. While he did do good against Salem, he did falter in losers after losing to Salem and didn't progress in that tournament any farther. So I see them 2 doing the worst, with Mewtwo King also being there. So I think your best chances of seeing someone or one of the melee gods doing very well is either Armada or Leffen. Also want to point out, I know that Leffen's not one of the gods, like officially, like that wasn't a title given to him, but I wanted to categorize all of the top melee talent. Plup is also someone I don't have included here, and a lot of people think he's the melee player who has the best chance of doing well, but I don't really think he has a better shot than Armada or Leffen. And obviously, I think Leffen is going to be the person who right now kind of has the most matchup experience, and while he has the whole character crisis going on, he's the one that I think is the only person I think has a great chance of breaking top 32, but I'd love to be proven wrong because I like a majority of these players, if not all of them, and seeing them do well and hopefully continuing to play in the game could only be healthier for it than if they didn't. And the last big storyline is Gluttony, and I have this as versus Genesis 6 because there's been obviously the whole debates with seeding. He was originally seeded around 21st or 22nd due to a bracket error. He initially was placed 32nd, but being at 21st seed, people thought he would go a lot higher. He hasn't lost a single event in EU yet, so it's going to be up to him to prove his seed. I personally do not believe he will place in top 16. Very, very off chance, I think he'll get 13th, but I don't. I would probably put money down on him not getting top 12. The big problem with him doing better than that is almost everyone seated above him has had practice with Tweak, and Tweak obviously also plays Wario like Gluttony. So if Tweak is any more than just marginally better than Gluttony, the practice they get with Tweak is going to help them a ton with the matchup with Gluttony, because in Smash 4. He was the forerunner for Wario, so if you didn't play against Gluttony, you really didn't have that matchup experience, so I think it's going to really hurt him this time around if Tweak continues to play Gluttony. So I expect him to underperform for his seed. I think his initial seeding fit a lot better, but then again, it would be nice to see EU do very well in this tournament. And that about wraps it up for the big storylines, I think. Who are like the biggest contender? Are players from not Smash 4 going to do well? And then the whole seeding fiasco. Outside of that, you have a lot of strong players. I think anyone in top 8 actually has a good shot at winning the event. The problem is having to win against, if you run into Zachary before winner semis, you have to beat him, then most likely beat Tweak, and then on the other side, that's Nairo and MK Leo. So having to defeat 2 to 3 of those 4 players, if you're just going through winners, not even losers where you could run into more of them, becomes extremely hard, and that's also not even mentioning anyone seated under the top 4. So it's really hard to predict that someone outside of the top 4 seeds, as we've seen, those have kind of been the strongest players in the game. But Shuton, I think, could do really well. Void is someone who is seeded, I think he's now 9th. While I think he could get up to like 3rd or 4th, I don't think he can win the event. Samsora, I think, is, I don't want to say a sleeper pick because most people know that he's very good at the game. He's someone I could see getting 2nd. I don't know if he could win enough matchups to get 1st. And I hate to say that, like, I actually know Samsora, and I know the joke is like he keeps getting 2nd, but I think it's tough for any player, even at that caliber, to get farther than that. And also, round 2 pools are going to be so important. If I recommend you to watch something that isn't just top 8, obviously you should watch all of the event. Find me in round 1 pools, maybe not get out. But I think round 2 pools are where you're getting people who have substantial skill in the game because they've conquered the 1632 people in their round 1 pool, so the skill level has jumped immensely at that point, and top players finally can start to feel a little bit threatened by their matchups. So keep an eye on brackets right at round 2 pools, and then obviously going into top 64, there can be upsets all along the way, but that's, I think, when the upsets are going to be the juiciest, you know? Wow, that was horrible wording. I am so sorry. I'm never going to call upsets juicy again. But that's it for me. Let me know how you guys think it's going to play out. Who do you think is going to win? Yada, yada. Or if you have any thoughts just about Genesis in general in the comments. Yeah, that's about it for me. I'm going to be there this weekend, so there won't be any content from me until at least later next week. I want to do something on a quick video on the patch, but not just I'm going to read it for 30 minutes like a lot of YouTubers are doing. I kind of want to have something really fast and just talking about the most important parts of it. But we'll get to that in the future. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see y'all later.